Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about 7 driving test myths that you should not believe. In this video, I'll be going over 7 myths that have to do with the driving test that you shouldn't believe. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Driving test myth number 1, it's okay to drive too slowly. People seem to think that it's better to drive too slowly than to speed. And to be honest with you, both of these things are wrong. You should not drive too slowly or too fast for the driving test. If you drive too slowly or too fast, the driving examiner will wonder why you're not able to drive the speed that you're supposed to be driving at. So driving test myth number 1 is that it's okay to drive too slowly, and it's definitely not true. Driving test myth number 2. You'll automatically fail if you go 1 kilometer per hour over the speed limit or 1 mile per hour over the speed limit. That is also definitely not true. Driving examiners know that you are a human being and you're not able to control your speed to the exact kilometer per hour or mile per hour consistently for the entire test. Now, if you go over the speed limit by 1 kilometer an hour or 1 mile an hour once, twice, 3 times on the driving test, it's probably not going to cause you to fail. However, if you constantly are going over the speed limit and you have trouble maintaining the speed limit on a decently consistent basis, then obviously the driving examiner might be looking at you and wondering why you can't maintain that speed that is posted there on that speed limit sign. So it's not that you automatically fail if you go over by 1 kilometer an hour or 1 mile an hour. It's that if you have trouble maintaining your speed at the speed limit, within the speed limit, then obviously it's going to cause you to lose points, and then it might eventually contribute to you not passing. Driving test myth number 3. You barely need to practice to pass the driving test. Some people seem to think that you can just take a few lessons and you don't have to practice and you'll pass the driving test. Yes, there have been many instances of people that don't practice often and they go and take their driving test and they seem to pass just because they happen to get everything right and they basically get lucky. But with that being said, that's not a good method. That's not a good strategy to bank on. Instead of worrying about not practicing, why don't you practice as much as you can so that you give yourself the best possible chance at passing that driving test. Driving test myth number 4. You can't redo things if you make a mistake. Let's say you're asked to reverse park and you make a mistake. Don't automatically assume that you can't redo it. Ask the driving examiner if you can redo that strategy or skill. Ask them nicely. Ask them nicely. Say, I usually am able to do this consistently. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit nervous, so I missed it on this occasion. But can I please redo it, or can I please retry it? Just ask nicely, and they might say yes. Now, there's also a difference between messing up on one skill and asking to redo it versus messing up on every skill and asking to redo everything. So just keep that in mind as well. Driving test myth number 5. Driving schools make you take too many driving lessons. People seem to think that when you go to a driving school that they make you take way more lessons than you need. That's simply not true. What a driving school wants to do is they want to ensure that everyone that comes through their driving school has the best chance at passing. So that's why they make you take those lessons. You might only need 7 lessons, but maybe the average person needs 10 or 11. So before you think that driving schools automatically make you take more lessons than you need, just think about the fact that they're trying to make everybody have the best chance at passing. And guess what? If you take 10 or 11 lessons, you're going to learn more than if you only took 7. So it's as simple as that. Driving test myth number 6. The examiners care about the driving skills more than safety. People seem to think that the driving examiners that are conducting the driving test care about these specific skills. They care about whether or not you can parallel park properly more than if you're a safe driver. And I'll tell you right now, safety, most of the time is going to be their primary concern. But they also care about the driving skills to make sure that you are able to do the driving skills. So they want to make sure that you are a safe driver, and then they also want to make sure that you can do each of the driving skills properly and safely. Driving test myth number 7. Taking your test on a Friday gives you, so I have to laugh at this one. Taking your test on a Friday gives you a lower chance of passing because the driving examiners have already used up many of their passes that they are granted. Driving test examiners, don't have a limit on the number of people that they can pass. If you are qualified in order to pass a driving test, then obviously you should be passing that driving test. Taking your driving test on a Friday doesn't give you any lower of a chance of passing. It's as simple as that. Driving test examiners are not granted a certain number of passes that they have to adhere to. They simply pass people when they deserve a pass, and they fail people when they don't deserve a pass. It's as simple as that. And that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over 7 driving test myths that you should not believe. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.